Gambling addiction is recognized by the American Psychiatric Association as a legitimate, authentic psychiatric disorder that has merit.
I do work with people who struggle with alcohol and drugs and problem gambling, and I believe this is the worst addiction. A problem gambler will say, if I could just get some money and get one more jackpot, this will change my life. That's the gambler's fallacy. It's one of the most insidious addictions there is because they know it's harming them, but they think that is what's killing me is the only thing that can save me.
There's essentially 9 symptoms that could be part of a gambling addiction. If someone has at least 4 of these, then they meet the criteria for a gambling disorder. All of these particular forces at play create this perfect storm that compromises a person's willpower to stop on their own accord.
I would go with my mother-in-law. She loved to play, and it would be just a couple of hours on a Friday night, playing 1 quarter at a time, and I actually maintained that kind of gambling habit for years before it became a problem.
It started off just playing card games at home, but the problem with me is you get kind of compulsive about it. You're like, no, I want to do better. I want to win everything. It was hard to keep your stories straight, and then when my wife saw right through it, it made me angry, and so it caused arguments too.
People start to jeopardize their relationships, whether that's relationships with loved ones, such as a romantic partner, or family, or friends.
I can remember sitting in the casino and my phone just ringing and ringing. The entire day had gone by, and my wife is probably freaking out, wondering where I am. Gambling was a major factor in that separation.
People report having a loss of control.
I never knew what it was to have control.
I couldn't say I'm out of control. I just kept thinking, I'm gonna stop. You don't sleep because your mind is constantly going on how you're gonna cover the damage, what you've done, the people you're hurting.
The hole that I created was astronomical, to be honest. During that period of time, I lost my healthcare business. I found myself in places of desperation out of financial situations that I had created or lies that I had told. I found myself very much alone.
There's a hopelessness that sets in because they can't stop. Research shows that you're 5 times more likely to commit suicide as a problem gambler than any other addiction.
I would go through the money that we would earn, and then I would steal from my employer. I kept track of things, so I thought I was gonna pay this back one day. I couldn't let my family go through the shame of that, and suicide was always right there. And after it did come out, I was worried about my family, my husband's reputation, and his work that I did attempt. It does take you to that place.
I tell all our problem gamblers that walk through the door that they are a miracle. Because with 6% of the people who struggle with problem gambling, less than 1% actually seek treatment.
You don't have to live in the darkness, and there is another side, but it takes work.
Recovery for me is a light, and it just keeps getting lighter.
The thing about light is, if you want it to get larger, you kind of got to go towards it. If someone could say, I'm not gambling today, and then tomorrow tell themselves the same thing, that's the key.
It's probably the last year I've given myself permission to say yes. I'm happy with the version I am today.
As dark as it may seem today, if you are willing to reach out, the darkness will begin to get light.
Most of our clients are extremely grateful and they say, oh, you saved our life. And we have to remind them, we didn't save your life, you saved your life. You came in, you sought out treatment, you wanted change.
If you have a gambling problem, there's hope, and there's help, and there's healing.